Hey everybody, so there's been some updates with Seekers of the Storm. Gearbox responded, Randy Pitchford, CEO of Gearbox, the man himself, has responded, and Hopoo Games has also put their hat in the ring and responded to this. But first, last night they put out a dev diary, a post-launch progress report, so I'm going to quickly go over that. Hey everyone, over the past few days we've been reviewing feedback surrounding the launch of Risk of Rain 2, Seekers of the Storm. Thank you as always to the incredible community of players who have come out to support us and provide insights which are helping resolve some unexpected issues with the deployment of the latest DLC. We're working on a PC patch. Amazing. First, we want to share our plan for how we're addressing these concerns. We've been able to reproduce many of the bugs you've brought to our attention. We're working as swiftly as possible to get these fixes delivered to you. These will be shipped on PC first, with console soon to follow as quickly as we can. I love that. That's an amazing decision. While it is nice in a utopian world to get updates on PC and console at the same time, they're very different platforms, and that's just not a realistic thing. In hindsight, unifying the codebase, I think, was just a horrible decision. So I'm hoping maybe they revert that. I don't think they will, but a very, very positive thing here. I'm happy they're doing this. While this patch won't solve every issue you're running into, we're prioritizing the community-reported issues as best we can. Please continue to submit bug reports on Discord with video if possible. Reach out to our customer support team if you need help. So yeah, please report any and all bugs you're finding on their Discord. I will leave a link in the description so you can do that. It's very, very important, guys. With that, here's the initial list of bugs we're targeting for a PC patch. Keep an eye out for more info. Many elements of the game are affected by a bug that leads to their behaviors changing depending on a player's FPS. Yeah, this was the big one. These elements included physics, attack speed, and movement. A lot more than that. The director. This issue has a planned fix with an upcoming patch. Final bosses are meant to be difficult, but Mithrix becoming invincible when stealing your Warped Echo or Chronic Expansion was definitely not intentional. We plan to fix this issue, which is good. I didn't even know Chronic Expansion had an issue in Phase 4. I thought it was just Warped Echo. But yeah, if you're playing right now, make sure you scrap these, or just don't even pick them up before you fight Mithrix. We plan to fix item highlights failing in various shops and adaptive chests. These are the big ones. That's good. With a plan change, you'll no longer be able to escape shattered abodes, at least in the ways we didn't intend in the next patch, okay? I'm not really sure what they're talking about with that one, but that sounds good. We plan to restore the visual indicators of taking damage on HUDs, which is just great. I hope they just revert the old HUD and old health bar. It was so much better, looked so much nicer, and I could actually tell when I was taking damage. An issue that allowed players to get stuck while smelling the flowers on Reformed Altar has a planned fix. Not really sure what they're talking about there, but that's good. We plan to fix an issue where long-standing Solitude would sometimes show pinged interactables at 2 times cost. I didn't even know about that one. That's great, though. We plan to fix an issue with the teleporter spawning inside Geometry on Rally Point Delta. Yeah, that was an interesting one. So, if you guys didn't know, before this update, there was a crate on Rally Point Delta that the teleporter could spawn inside of, but the crate was open, so it was fine. On console, that crate is closed. So when they mixed the code together, they closed the crate on Rally Point, but the teleporter could still spawn inside it. So, yeah, hopefully they just open the crate. That's an easy fix. Acrid's utility skills, both Caustic Leap and Frenzied Leap, were not dealing damage properly. You couldn't really slam into walls either. Acrid should be fully back in action in the next patch. Great. We plan to fix an issue with the portal spawning inside Geometry on Bulwark's Ambry. We plan to fix health bars being slow to update. Yes, please revert them. We plan to fix the low frame rate in Halconite's spawn animation. I noticed that as well. We plan to fix an issue where Seeker's Sojourn ability would not work for non-host players in a multiplayer game. We plan to extend the pickup radius on Chef's Food. We plan to fix a visual issue with Hellcoin Beacon texture upon activation on Gilded Coast. Yeah, that's like where it would be like half activated, half non-activated. We plan to realign Loader's Knuckle Boom VFX. We plan to fix an issue where Survivor VFX in the character select screen overlap with the Ready button. Yeah, that's a very noticeable one. And then regional pricing adjusted on Steam. We've worked with our partners at Steam to adjust the pricing of Seekers of the Storm in select markets. The new pricing more closely matches the prices from Survivors of the Void. This change is already in effect. Those who have already purchased the content should request a refund through Steam and repurchase at the updated price once they see it has been adjusted, or maybe just repurchase it once the patches come out. We deeply appreciate your feedback and support. As soon as we have more info, we'll make sure everyone gets another update. So, I think this was generally a pretty good response. I do think, working on PC, nice to see them go back on the decision to do everything on all platforms at once. It's very nice to see him walk that back a little bit. I don't know if this is like nitpicking, but I think the wording is a little bit interesting here, where they just say we plan to fix. They don't say we are fixing, which maybe I'm just being too picky, but it seems a little bit like doublespeak. I don't know, but overall, I do think this was a good little update. This is what I wanted from Gearbox. Although I will say, this is from Race's Discord, and this is a list of every bug we've encountered in the expansion so far, and it's 7 pages. So like, definitely a lot more bugs than they listed in that update. So hopefully they're going to do multiple patches, because there's just so many here. I'm still going. Yeah. But I do think this was a pretty good response, and I'm happy they put this out at the very least. Part of me was thinking they would just kind of abandon the game, and they haven't, it seems like. So hopefully they hire more people as well. I have heard that the team that was working on Seekers of the Storm is actually smaller than Hopoo Games, which would explain a lot. Hopefully they hire more people. Hopefully this is a big wake-up call that they need to have more people on. From my understanding, there were more people on the team, but then when Take-Two took over Gearbox, they did a lot of cutbacks and shrunk the team quite a bit. Hopefully they revert some of that, but I don't know. And then Hopoo responded to this with just the little Fred face. And then he goes on to elaborate. This is definitely a bittersweet situation. It's great to see new content for the game, but it's hard to see growing pains of the new team in real time. It sucks for the fans who lost functionality for the game they love. It also sucks for the developers at Gearbox, who are probably under a ton of stress and can't really celebrate the win of launching a new DLC. We still believe that Gearbox is heading in the right direction, and they have every intention of fixing issues and listening to feedback. I know the people on the Gearbox team, they deeply care about Risk of Rain. Definitely a hard situation for everyone involved. Which, I think is definitely a very measured and reasonable response. Definitely more measured and reasonable than I've been. I do think I've been pretty hard on the developers, more hard than I should be. I do blame the higher-ups. I think it's Take-Two. I think it's the heads at Gearbox that are really responsible for this. I don't think they have the support they need from that company. I mean, again, I think I have seen the cutbacks just from my end. Like I talked about that in the video right before launch, that the influencer manager team was just completely sacked. So it is not surprising to me at all that they have a small team working on it, and there were layoffs. That makes sense. Hopefully they hire more people. And then Randy Pitchford also said this. Also, I was in the digital war room all day. We worked out some things with Risk of Rain to correct, communicate, and compensate. Lots more to come, but the latest info here. And then he just links to the thing we just went through. Please, please hire more people for Risk of Rain. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, Randy's boss is Take-Two, and if they don't want to spend money on it, if they just say drop it, it'll be dropped. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen. So far, it seems like they're sticking with us, and I'm at least relieved about that. I don't have a lot of confidence, I'll be honest, in the patch itself. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to get the game back to the way it was. But it's nice to see them that they are trying at least, and they're putting in effort. Randy Pitchford is a bit of a meme, but it seems like he does kind of care about the situation. This is a tweet. This was deleted. But he was kind of bragging about Seekers of the Storm. He said, "We did it, you guys. Risk of Rain 2 and our new DLC, Seekers of the Storm, tops the Steam charts." And then he says, "You did nothing, Randy. Don't steal from them." Which is talking about Hopoo Games. The DLC is entirely a Gearbox effort. We remain committed to the future of Risk of Rain. I hope you like it, which is like, come on, man. Come on. Randy, Chef doesn't work properly, and items are clipped onto his rolling pin on his model. Please fix him for the Chef fans. I love how he calls him by his first name. You did nothing, Randy. Like it's his ex-wife fucking hounding him on Twitter. And he says, yeah, this is some jank we've just sort of tolerated. I'll have another look. Which is good, I do like that response from Randy there. Hopefully he does have another look, and hopefully he does put more people on the team. Again, I'm going to keep going back to that. Overall, I do think this was a W for Gearbox yesterday. I'm happy with this, and I'm not going to be applying the pressure as much. The ball is in their court, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. They put a hotfix out on Xbox as well, so some of those problems have been fixed. Hopefully some of you guys can get past the title screen now. Yeah, I don't know. It was a big disaster, but it seems like they're at least trying. I also got a little bit more insight onto Risk of Rain returns and what's going on with that, because they said a few things back in November, the launch of the game. They said we'd be getting a content update, and they also said we would be getting official mod support, and neither of those things have happened. And we have an explanation why now. So this is from D. He is one of the developers on Risk of Rain Returns over at Hopoo. He says the real issue is that Risk of Rain Returns publisher, Gearbox Publishing, no longer exists. He says, is that why we haven't gotten mod support? Yes. We can make the update, but we do not have the practical means to submit it in any way due to our publisher just not being real anymore. It's not a legal issue, which makes sense. I imagine that once Take-Two took over Gearbox, the publishing side is maybe rebranded or is different now. So Hopoo just has nobody to submit the update to. And this isn't saying that they have the update ready. I think they're probably still working on it, or they don't want to work on it because, how are they going to get it out, right? It's kind of hard to justify. So that makes sense why the update isn't out, and it makes sense why mod support is nothing either. Shout out to Creeps, by the way, for bringing this to my attention and for talking to them. But yeah, that kind of sheds more light on that. Overall, though, like I said, I do think this is a pretty reasonable response from Gearbox. Again, I'm not super confident that they're going to be able to fix everything, but they're at least trying, and I'm going to give them a chance. I also just want to take a second to apologize for the content on the channel the last few days, specifically my intros. The videos themselves have been okay, but my intro on the chef video, I trimmed out because it was just super negative, and I changed the thumbnail on a lot of my videos from last week as well, just because I don't want this channel to be a breeding ground for hate, and I feel like I've kind of whipped the community up into a frenzy a little bit. I just love this game so much, and I have been very emotional last few days. I have not been level-headed. If you've been watching my videos, I think that much is clear. So I apologize for that, guys, and I'm going to try to approach content from a little bit more of a positive perspective. Tomorrow we have a down patch guide coming out, and I also made an unofficial content update for those of you that were kind of disappointed by this but want something to play. So yeah, it's just it's a bad situation, but we're going to try to make the best of it here. And I think that's about it for this video. Thank you to my members for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ta for now.